Good morning and welcome to the pool room. My name is Dale, and I thought today we would have a look at the last 17 of Kenner's vintage Star Wars line. The figures, most of them came out on the Power of the Force cards. The first two that I'll show today came out on Return of the Jedi cards to begin with, and then later on Power of the Force cards. So let's start with Lumat the Ewok. He came with his bow, quiver, and hood. Bow very easily lost. Then the hood, every now and again you'll still see him in like little beater piles if you're lucky, with his quiver. But that's Lumat. The other Ewok that came on the Return of the Jedi card at the beginning was Paplu. Paplu was the young Ewok that stole the speeder bike in Return of the Jedi. He came with a staff and a hood, and he's a gorgeous little figure. This one, very, I like this one a lot. Very like this one a lot. Right, okay. Luke Endor. So this is Luke with his poncho, came with a poncho belt and a blaster. Unfortunately, I picked all my Power of the Force figures up later on. I picked these up in the 90s. I ignored them in the 80s. I was working and earning money back then, but records and t-shirts with band names they just become far more interesting to me. So I didn't pick these guys up. So I've picked them up later, and unfortunately when I picked up Luke, he didn't have his blaster, and I didn't really worry about it too much. Thought I'd get it later, and look at me now. They're super duper expensive. Righty, okay, let's just pick R2 up a little bit more carefully, because I don't want to touch his sticker. This is pop-up R2. He's stunningly cool figure. The lightsaber is very hard to find on this one. So yeah, just glad this one, when I picked it up, came with its correct accessory. Right, okay, Romba, another Ewok. We actually got quite a few Ewoks in the last 17. Romba comes with a spear. It is different to Wicket's spear, but only just. It's a little bit difficult to notice, but if you go into Variant Villain, you'll see that there are slight changes to it. So yes, Romba came with a spear and his hood. Very cool. I'm a big fan of the Ewoks, so really nice to see these coming out in the last lot. Amanaman. Blame Amanaman, actually. I reckon he was one of the reasons why I stopped collecting. Yes, I was earning money, and yes, I was spending it all on records and t-shirts, but I remember going into a shop while I was because I used to work at a supermarket. I went into a toy shop and saw a Amanaman and just thought, because I can't remember these sorts of characters. You know, what's Star Wars doing now? All they're doing is releasing all these bizarre things that I can't even remember from the movie. So Amanaman was one of those triggers that just went, nah, they're being silly now. I'm not collecting it anymore, and records are way cooler. So, but now look at him. He's one of my favourite figures. So he's absolutely stunning. But yeah, there you go. There's Dale's story on Amanaman. Barada, let's just put him front and centre. Came with whatever you want to call that stick. And ignore my dogs coming through the gate, that's fine. So Barada came with, I don't even know what to call that weapon. It's some sort of a pole, a stick, something like that. But Barada, one of my favourite scenes from Jedi is the skiff scene, and all of Jabba's palace, to be honest. So he's a very cool addition. Love him lots. Death Star Gunner with the famously impossible to find gun, and he's a cool character. We all love having Imperials on set. It's just a shame that he's one of the last 17, so difficult to get as a army builder. Luke Stormtrooper. Luke Stormtrooper is another one that I reckon was a reason why I stopped collecting. Look at that pinhead, and I would have just thought, nah, this is getting silly. Like, why do we have pinheads now? Nothing like the original scale, obviously just to fit his helmet on, but it's just like, nah, Star Wars, what are you doing? And now look at him again, stupidly expensive. Han Carbonite. I recently picked up a second one of these ones just to clean up. And put on my skiff display. But he's a very cool figure. He's pretty he's a pretty solid character. He's like they're starting to put a little bit of bulkiness on these characters by this time. But it's an interesting thought now that I'm really actually just looking at these a little bit more. EV99, the tallest of them. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to just tilt my camera just a little bit for her, because she is so tall. She's always got that wonky leg. So if you've got one and she's got a wonky leg, if you've got one and she's, she doesn't look like that, well then, lucky you. But she is prone to have this tilt, this weird thing going on where I just think she's just very, very tall, and the plastic just wasn't holding up for that height, and such thin legs, but very, very prone to doing that. So don't stress if that's what's going on. She's a very cool character. Another one of Jabba's palace, not quite denizens, but Jabba's palace characters. Warrock, another cool Ewok. We actually got very, very spoiled with Ewoks in the Power of the Force line. Warrock is very, very cool. It's super duper similar. As a kid, I kind of looked at these two and thought, again, gee, they're just they're pumping out the same character with different coloured hoods now. But that obviously was not right, and now I appreciate them far more now that I'm looking at all the nuances of variants. Oh my gosh, like these two are just obviously two different characters. Right, the Ghost himself, Anakin. I reckon he's a really cool character. I don't think he gets the love that he deserves. Sebastian Shaw. It was just nice to see Darth Vader evolve to Anakin again at the end of the movies, and such a cool figure. I love the robes. I'm actually a big fan of this. I know he doesn't fetch much dollars wise for last 17. He's probably about the cheapest out of all of them, but there you go. Maybe because he doesn't come with a weapon. Don't know what it is. Lando General, he's definitely one of my faves. I think he's absolutely stunning. That cape is just beautiful. The material that they used, very, very cool. And he's just a lovely figure. And luckily I have his weapon, because that's another very difficult to find weapon. Imperial Dignitary. Lucky to have this dude without a nose rub. Super duper prone to having a nose rub. He's a stunning figure, this one. Have I got him in focus? I really hope so. That's better. Hope the other ones are in focus. But yes, no, Imperial Dignitary in those purple robes. Would have been nice if we got the other one as well. But hey, we missed out on so many figures towards the end. Hopefully, the likes of the next 17 or Stan Solo actually do another Imperial Dignitary. I do believe Funky McClunky's probably done one, but I don't want a 3D print. I actually want, someone to make one, maybe in the retro collection. Don't know, but anyway, it'd be nice to see the other Imperial Dignitary get out. Another army builder, but just impossible to find because he is last 17. A-wing pilot. Lucky that I have his gun. Because again, super duper difficult to get these black Endor blasters. They are just skyrocketing in price. So yeah, anyway, very cool character. And his blaster's gone. That's probably why everyone lost him. Last but not least, everybody, the Yak. Good old Yak Face. He's another tall character. So I'm going to push him back a little bit. Or shall I lift my camera? I shall lift the camera. That's what I'll do. Bring him a bit more forward. Super duper cool. Unavailable in the US, so that's escalated his price quite significantly. He's absolutely beautiful though. He's such a cool character. Again, another one of Jabba's denizens. So he's going to be an obvious character that I'm going to love. But yeah, so cool. So he was released pretty much, Australia, Canada, England, and parts of Europe. But he, unfortunately, he missed out America. So, in the 90s when everybody started to collect again, the chase was on for Yak Face, and yeah, he just exploded in value or price, however you want to do it. Okay, guys, that is my last 17. Hope you enjoyed it. What else is there to collect after this? I mean, I'm deep diving into variants now that I've got all these. I've had these since the 90s, so I deep dive into variants. Ewoks and droids, they're the other ones to collect, aren't they? Do you put yourself under the pressure of collecting Ewoks and droids? Do you just leave it as these ones? These last figures are just going crazy in prices now, and it's making it unaffordable for a lot of people. So yeah, it's difficult. What's the next steps, or are people just hoping things come out in retro collection? Yeah, it's difficult. I do have a few retro collection figures. Whether I like the quality of them as much as the originals, I don't think they are quite as good. Holding them next to each other, you'll see in my other video. So yeah, go check out my other videos where I compare retro collection and original vintage line. Until next time, guys, whatever it is you collect, just enjoy collecting. And I'll see you next time. Okay, you take care.